For the last month, I've been working on this project, which is mainly inspired by Rust and other games such as this. The core concept is that you spawn, try to survive and escape while having to deal also with other players, with the addition of survival and sandbox elements. Before we begin, since my last video made a lot of success from my perspective, I would like to thank all of you for your support. And lastly, there is the Discord server for everyone to join that would like to give an insight on the matter or just follow more closely the project. So, the first thing to choose is a game engine, cause the last time I tried to make one, well... There are many well-documented and powerful engines out there, such as Unity, Godot or Unreal. I have already tried all of these, and while they're pretty good at what they're intended to do, the best one for a current task is Unity. I have more experience with it, and the latter is currently more mature than Godot, has better 3D features, products, and has a bigger community. Unreal, on the other hand, is a monster in graphics, but is very heavy, and from my experience I had a worse production time than the other two. There are multiple ways to how to approach networking Unity, but after informing myself a bit, at the end Mirror is what I choose. It is open source, its performance is as great as it needs to be, and has a great documentation. I could have tried to make my own API, but, you know...
Check that off my list. Man, it feels good to be done. With 10%, oh no.
Sure, it won't be that bad. The first thing is to get the player movement down. I would love to have physics interaction with the environment and to some extent with the player. It will create a lot of fun and goofy scenarios. With a multiplayer game, cheating becomes a problem, and to prevent it to some capacity, the game needs to be server authoritative. And what does it mean? In very simple terms, the server owns everything and performs actions based on the client's inputs. For example, I press W to go forward, and the server receives the input, making it to go forward. Wait, why is it laggy? It seems that I little underestimated the problems that come into making a multiplayer game. But after 5 days, I got it to work, and while I was crying, I noticed that my player was a bean. And I thought that people would not like seeing beans all day. So I started searching for a temporary character model and animations. Because 1, I can 3D model a character without having a stroke. 2, I can create an acceptable animation without at least spending 10 hours. After a bit of research, I came across these great packages. I also thought about letting other people see the rotations of the others, and with a little bit of animation rigging, here's the whole thing working. Now that I can move and look right from an observer, it's time to put an inventory and crafting system. I already tried making that roughly a year ago, and I thought that it would be a good idea to just put it in the project and modify some parts. And as you can see, the concept is completely original as everything in this game. I also tried to make these models. Since this game has no challenge and no sense of urgency or immersion, a good idea is to put a health system. So I coded one, and I tried to die a couple of times, until it worked, this time almost on first try. When it came to actually playing the game, I was blinded by the beautifulness of the scenery, but it wasn't enough for me. So I did what I'm best at. I started stressing myself over a non-voxel procedurally generated terrain usually works by sampling points in a 2D surface and calculating their height from a mathematical equation. The majority of people uses Perlin noise, and since we're not special, we are going to use that. After a bit of simple internet surfing and a very brief coding session, I got the basics working. It looks ugly, but it is something. However, with map and a fall-off map, we got a nice shape generator for our island. Looking around, I also noticed that something green that normal people touch was missing. I googled it and I found out it was grass. With shaders and a bit of pixel painting, I made them upon the terrain. Now I can walk happily around doing nothing. Check out also this water shader that I got from the ads store. It's free and it's very cool. I lastly did the menu and pause menu, so that we can now connect and disconnect. But the problem is still that you have to open your ports in order to play with others through the internet, but I'm planning to cloud that with the Steam API. These kind of games are hard to make, and I knew it well before starting all of this, but honestly I'm satisfied with the progress of this month. The content for now ends here. If you wanna check out this version, it is in the Discord server, and don't forget to subscribe and like the video if you enjoyed it.